Distantly, your podcast about a long distance relationship. I am your host, Ernesto Gonzalez, and this is my co host,
Kürşat Zeydanlı. Welcome again.
I guess I'm your co host as well.
We are both co-hosts, like co-hosts
Right.
to each other, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about fears and doubts on this episode today, and we're also going to talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I have more to talk about than our topic today. Like, I don't know. I'm sure we both have our fears and doubts.
Yeah.
But
Like, I was the one who suggested fears and doubts, but,
no.
it's gonna include some other things as well, I guess, like, because it's a starting point and it's gonna evolve to some
hopes
positive
and
things. Yeah, positive things as well, of course.
I wanted it to be hopes and dreams.
It's more, how can I say, like, negative things. Yeah, negative things appeal to more listeners, I guess. I don't know. I just made it up.
You just want to be negative.
I don't. Maybe.
So
Anyway.
it is
Yeah.
7:59 a.m. or it's about to be 8 a.m. over here. What time is it over there?
It's 17:59 p.m. Like, not p.m. 17:59. It's about to be 6 p.m. Yeah, it's about to 6 p.m. here.
I had a hard time, like, getting up and ready for this episode.
Yeah, I kind of forced him to do it, and I feel a little bit bad about
not
it.
Forced. Not like you forced. It's also like just the responsibility of it. But it's because my sleeping schedule, as you guys might have known, he mentioned in the first episode that I have a graveyard shift. Graveyard shift work schedule.
Yeah.
But it's like not even just the graveyard. It's like 12 hours. 5 days a week, like just working throughout the whole night, and so my sleeping schedule, if it gets just a little bit fucked up, it kind of fucks everything else up.
Yeah.
And so you guys might hear some crazy noises. You might hear some dogs barking, some stuff going on, because we always try to fit this recording in like a specific window where it's too early in the day for anything to be crazy going on. But right now we're recording it at 8, so there might be some noises happening.
Yeah. Anyway, let's kind of dive into it.
Dive in.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So maybe our listeners realized we had some tough weeks. Like, we were trying to balance things out, like the time we spent together, like everything. And we kind of had some small fights in this couple of weeks, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Like, our fights never
Each
evolved to like big fights, like big huge fights. In
these past 2 episodes have been they were triggered by fights.
Yeah, like small fights, arguments, like, and I think we are doing a good job not letting them evolve into huge fights, like,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like, I just wanted to talk about fears and doubts because
What made you chose the topic this week? So what made you choose this topic?
kind of a thing you said recently, but I want to start it from the beginning. Like, what was your biggest fear and doubt about our relationship in the beginning of our relationship?
You're asking me right now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can remember. I think I said we spoke about it last podcast, last episode. Just losing my identity, or just feeling like I've lost.
Yeah, it was later on though. Like, I'm talking about the first couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months.
There was remember I told you, like, there's no. I didn't have any fears and doubts because I wasn't taking it that serious at first.
I remember you were afraid of us becoming like ending similarly to your previous long distance relationship.
Yeah, that we would just
That was- yeah, that
slowly
was-
just decay.
Yeah, that was one of your fears, as I remember correctly. In the beginning, like you were always talking about, like you were kind of comparing our relationship with your previous relationship
Well, of course, because
because
it's
of the
very
distance.
similar.
Yeah, like, and in case of me, I've been like throughout my life, I dealt with like abandonment issues, and it became
Yes.
a like huge fear for me. Like I'm always afraid that people are gonna leave me, people are gonna like abandon me, and like that's all. Like everything is gonna end in my head.
Maybe you have
So
to abandon me.
why? Anyway, stop. So like even my friendships, like I wasn't building like so serious friendships. I had some close friends, but I was not like 100% into those friendship relationships as well. Like I wasn't fully trusting them. I wasn't, you know, relying on them in a way that you rely, like people rely on their friends.
Yeah.
I wasn't letting anyone close because I was afraid of losing them. I was afraid of like,
But
being
you
left
had all these
alone.
friends. You have
Yeah.
like a bunch of friends.
And I had more like before
Hmm.
when I was dealing with those because I had a lot of friends, but no one was a close friend. Like no one was like someone I share every secret. Like like there were there were no one who I could really 100% rely on as a friend.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I I used to just have my friends when I was a lot younger, like when back in 2012, back in 2012 to 2013, that's when I lost all my friends, and I was never really that close to my family. And so I did have abandonment issues, but I had to face them. Like I for a couple of years I was just alone,
Yeah.
and I had to learn how to be alone, and that's where the whole identity comes from. Where it's like, oh, I don't need anybody.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why I said right now. Maybe you're gonna have to abandon me, because like that's how you get over. That's how I got over abandonment issues, right? When I also had
But
to do the abandoning. I had to stop a bunch of connections.
but I'm like I might be wrong, just saying this, and I'm sorry from advance. Like if it comes out wrong, but to me the way you solved those issues ended in like another issue. Like you just love being alone. Like and is it really healthy? Like
I think I love yeah, I love it. I mean,
yeah, I mean I'm not asking that. But in being independent and not depend on anyone, like being self-sufficient, those are like great things to have, like great, how can I say, aspects, like great virtues. But at the same time, it's kind of making it impossible for someone to get close to you, like for you to lower your walls
yeah,
to someone.
100%. Yeah,
So
like I
yeah,
have trouble with that. Well, I have trouble with just trusting others.
and it's weird that I was in the same place before I like met you, before like opened up myself completely to you, because I think I was never that person. Like deep down, I was not liking it. I was not liking like no one to rely on. I was not liking being alone and solving every problem on my own. Like I don't know. And after I met you, I was like, what if, what if I don't have to be that person?
That's
What if
crazy
there's
that you
a
decided to do that. There must be something psychological with you deciding to open up to somebody who's not in your country, or not in your
maybe,
city.
maybe,
There has to be maybe something kind of reassuring. Reassuring that like, oh, if this guy abandons me, it's okay because he wasn't really never here.
yeah.
Like there's maybe
Oh,
a safety
yeah,
blanket in that.
maybe I was not as afraid as I would be with someone near me because, like, maybe I was not taking it completely seriously at first as well, like deep down in my,
Right.
yeah. But right now it's like different. Right now, like obviously we both dealt with those issues, like those abandonment issues, in like different ways and became different persons throughout our
Mhm.
like lifetime. And nowadays, yeah, like I always want to be with you. You like want to spend your time alone. Like we are trying to be balancing it out. And my fear is like, what if you decide to want more and more time to yourself, and at the end, just want all your time to yourself, like not want me anymore.
I know, and I know that's how it feels recently.
Mm. And that's why I actually wanted to talk about this topic.
But I mean, it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain that, like, I completely understand why you feel this way, because I know that I'm going back to just like, oh, I want to be by myself. I want to do my own thing. And like I know, and I think you're reassured that there's nobody else, and there isn't anybody else. I'm not talking to anybody else.
No, that's
like
not that's not my fear as well.
But yeah, like I don't know how to show you that, like, you know what I mean. Like if and when I do think about somebody when I'm by myself, it's you. Like like I'm always thinking about you. But most of the time when I'm by myself, I'm just like busy, kind of distracted in my own things. I have my anxiety, so like that's gonna always be something that keeps me busy. Like I'm gonna have that anxiety, and my job in life, I feel, is like to keep myself distracted from my anxiety. Like that's been a goal since, like, I don't know, I was born. So that's always a thing, and so I think that's why it's always easy for me to find distractions.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how to make you notice or make you know. I guess I try to show you, but it's not enough where, that, like, I don't know, that I do love you and I like spending time with you. It's just it's my job to find a balance, and I'm finding out that the balance is not enough for you. Like my way of balancing our time.
No, it's not just it's not just your job. Like my job to find balance as well. Like as I told you earlier, like we need to find a middle ground, and it's gonna take both of us to balance things out. And as much as I say that I'm trying my best, like I can't expect it to become just in the morning, like when I wake up and like, okay, everything's balanced right now. So but I hope I'm doing kind of better job than before.
You are. You very much are. You really have changed.
And another
kind of crazy.
Another fear of me is like the things you do when you're like spending time alone.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that you can just stop and, like, if you feel like spending time with me, all of a sudden you can just stop and call me, like, like some video chat, video games, or like just looking for new music, watching YouTube videos, or like watching, like trying to find out new series and stuff. But the things I do, they require time. Like when I start playing video games, for example, like I'm playing World of Warcraft and League of Legends at this time, and a League of Legends game is like taking 30-40 minutes, and I generally don't just play a game and leave. I like play consecutive games, and like dungeons, like same 30 minutes a dungeon. And if we start doing a dungeon with my like friends in the game, it's like 5 or 6 consecutive dungeons, and I'm afraid there's gonna be like a couple or 3 or 4 times in a row that you're gonna call me and ask me what am I doing, and if I want to hang out, and I'm gonna be busy, and you're gonna think that, oh, okay, he's changed, he doesn't want to spend time with me anymore. But that's not the case. Like that's never gonna be the case.
No, I very much respect your time with your friends. I think I respect it more than you respect my time.
Probably.
Where I'm just like, if you tell me that you're gonna do something with your friends, I'm just like, okay, go ahead, do your thing. Like, I'm very, like
I
free when it comes
know.
to the.
Sometimes you say things that shows the other way, and you're saying that you're joking about them, but
You get all chummy with your friends and start calling them sir and yes sir and no sir. So
oh my
I
god,
don't know about all
at
that.
least I'm not calling them honey or baby,
Well, he came first.
Wow. I can't believe he said that. Anyway, those are the fears and doubts. But beside that, like I can realize that I don't want to like brag about this, but I can realize that I'm growing in a positive way in a relationships. I don't know.
That's good.
Relationship. And I actually don't like still deep down, and sometimes it comes to the surface, but right now I'm not like as afraid as before of like our relationship is ending or like we are
That's
breaking
good.
up. Like I kind of trust in our relationship. I can trust in us more than before, and one of the reasons of that is like I've been talking about those small fights that we had in the last couple of weeks. Before, those small things could end up us being broke up.
Yeah.
It happened before, and now we can just talk about it. We can just like try to understand each other, show that we understand each other, and like tell each other that what we are wanting, and trying to find a middle way, and it's kind of working, I guess.
No, yeah. Yeah, I can see you growing. I honestly can. I can see you growing.
Yeah.
I've been like, I feel like I've maybe grown. I don't think I've grown as much as you when it comes to this relationship.
I think you did. You did.
I feel like I'm growing. Like the job that I have right now is the first job I have that like pays well, and so like I'm learning something about myself that is like I'm a spender. Like,
Yeah.
I knew that I used to like.
Yeah.
I knew that I used to like to buy things.
I always knew that from the day one. By the way.
I guess so. Yeah, like because my friend, one of my close friends, Carmela, is also like this. Where if we've got the money, we're gonna get it. Like if we want that, we're gonna fucking get it. And so like I never really had the money. I've always been, pinching pennies and trying to make it work. And so now because of this job, it pays well. I don't want to sound. I probably shouldn't be saying this so much, but and so
Yeah.
now that I
Don't
have-
jinx it.
Yeah, I know, but and so like I've noticed that I buy these things and then I kind of and they're kind of set on a schedule from like, okay, I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna do this, I don't know. Anyways, I got a fear and dream for you.
Okay.
As some of our listeners know that I'm a chubby guy. Not chubby, I'm big. I'm a big boy, and fat. And
Oh my god, that tone.
And I remember thinking like, oh, you're such a sexy guy, you're such a hot guy, like I'm sure you can have whatever guy you want and stuff.
Oh, you
And
remember thinking that? It was in
Yes.
the past.
It was in the past.
Oh,
no,
not
it's still
anymore.
happening now.
Okay.
No, but
Not safe.
one of my fears is that you coming over here and like leaving me for somebody else because it's Los Angeles. You don't understand. Like you've been in this country, in this city that is just holds you back sexually, for expressionally wise or whatever the fuck. Like, and so you're gonna come to fucking Los Angeles, the fucking gay capital of the world, if you will.
Well,
just-
like I'm not comparing it. Of course, it is LA. It's USA. Like there is like a huge difference, but where I live,
I don't want to stop you from that. I don't want you to get here and be like, "Oh my god, there's all these hot guys and I can't do a shit." And you know what I mean? Like, "Oh, I've been fucking in a secluded, not secluded, but you know what I mean? Like I've been in a homophobic country my whole life and now I'm here to be in a relationship."
So
You know what I mean?
what
And
keeps
that's not
you?
fun for you?
What keeps you? You are in that city, and you are in a long distance relationship with me.
Because I have anxiety. I'm antisocial. Like it makes more sense for me to find a boyfriend online because of that. But you're not antisocial. You don't have anxiety. You're gonna have that opportunity when you get here.
But and second, like, yeah, like my country is homophobic. Like traditions are like, keeping people openly live their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that you cannot find anyone if you want to.
What do you mean? Yes, it is.
Like if you want to hook up with someone, you can find it like in 5 minutes.
Okay.
And I don't want to.
You don't want to hook up.
Right now, no.
Yeah.
Like you don't understand. Like you think that, oh, we only saw each other on the like video, and we didn't see each other face to face. We didn't touch each other. Yeah, those are the real things. But I'm not like in love with you just because your looks. And again, I think that there is no one looks like more handsome or cuter than you.
Maybe. You're very sweet. And I guess I'm intimidated because Los Angeles has a lot of hot people.
Not for
And
me.
you're not attracted to chubby guys. You told me before that you don't like chubby guys. So you're
And-
totally going to come over here and be like, oh shit, everybody's hot. Because
We
to be
mentioned-
honest with you, there's not a lot of fat people over here.
We
Like,
talked-
there is, but
we talked
there's
about this.
Way more hot
We
people
talked
in Los
about
Angeles.
this in like the last episode or the episode before one. Like it's not just body type for me. It's like the face, the mentality, like the way you smile, like in general, like how people smile is like amazing. And remember a couple of days ago we were watching Zendaya's music video, and I told you when I like see someone, like whoever it is, like they can be like not perfect actors or actresses, like they cannot be like perfect singers or dancers, but if I see them having fun in what they're doing, it's like really appealing to me. I'm enjoying that more than, I don't know, like some like hot tier but snob and like not having fun anymore. It's just his work or her work, or like just doing it professionally, not out of responsibility. I prefer watching the other people. And
Well, there's a bunch of other people over here.
yeah,
There's a bunch of really talented people over here.
I'm talking about not talent. I'm talking about like whenever I saw you the first time, I could see that how much you were having fun. And the smile,
What,
like
showing
remember?
my tits online?
Oh my god. Yeah. and your smile. I mentioned that like when you were not working, like before you find this job,
Yeah.
you were smiling, you were laughing, but it wasn't the same way. And after you found the job, the way you smiled and laughed changed. And I mentioned that before, remember? Like
In what way? Do I laugh like a rich boy now?
No.
Do I laugh like a rich person?
you laugh like you mean it, like you really enjoy that moment, not just I don't know. It's
Do
the
I
feeling.
have a wealthy chuckle?
Maybe. Yeah. And now I'm after you because of your money.
Of course. Oh, also, I told you before, one of my other fears is that you just want the citizenship.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, that's all you're here for. You just want this sweet American paper.
I actually don't care where we live. I mentioned that a couple of times to you. You can just really like you can find an online job and come here and live with me here. I don't mind.
Yeah,
being in
because
USA.
we're both certified teachers of.
Oh, that's true. But
Yeah.
I like it's not necessarily be that. Like you can find
We
any
can go teach
online.
English.
Yeah.
We
If-
could be two sexy teachers in a foreign country that teach English to people.
Yeah. Like I don't really care. Like even if it's Turkey, I don't really care where we live. I just want to be with you.
Aww. Okay, what 3 countries would you choose to live with me outside of America and Turkey?
Canada, New Zealand or Australia, they're kind of same. And
Ooh, oh my god,
and-
dude, I can't believe you just said that.
I mean, like
I'm sorry to all of our Australian. And,
I'm not talking about the
all of
culture
our
or
New Zealand-
something like nature, like they are kind of have same climate. And if we are rich, Japan.
Japan.
But if we are
See, like,
rich,
that would be amazing. I mean, I feel like if we lived in Japan, I would lose so much weight. Or maybe just in any fucking European country. American cities are just built for cars, and European cities are built for walking and bikes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
anyways, okay, for me, I like that you said Canada, because Canada feels like the safest place for me. Like, for, it's like, oh, free healthcare. You know, I feel like things are a little bit more expensive, but it's like because there's all of this free shit, like all of free healthcare and like all that stuff. So, and weed is legalized there too, so that's pretty fun. Even though Canada wouldn't be my first choice, maybe it would be my third if I'm thinking about security and safety and just a fucking happy life, I guess. But I'm more in a romantic. I want to give more of like a romantic experience kind of answer. So it would be somewhere like
France.
Yeah, like somewhere like Spain, Italy.
Of course, Italy.
I would want to like try to find out somewhere in Venice, so we can just be living on a city on water. Like, to me, that's fantastical.
To be honest, like I was loving Italy, and I was like, yeah, I want to visit Italy, but I don't know if I ever want to see Italy.
Because when you and I first started talking, I was already kind of not talking. I can't really say much about it, but I was talking to somebody who was Italian, and that's all we can really say right now. Anyway,
you didn't have to say that. I wasn't expecting you to say that actually. Anyway, yeah, like I don't like Italy. Like I don't want.
So it ruined Italy for you.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I fell in love with this guy, and he kind of ruined Paris for me. But now it's not ruined anymore. Anyways, so it would be somewhere like romantic, somewhere fantastical. Like to me, Venice. New Zealand is cool, but
it's fantastic.
A city on a water, like where, like, you know what I mean? Like, Venice is literally, the streets are literally rivers. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's super Final Fantasy like. Anyways, there maybe somewhere like I said, like Spain, somewhere where like the language will not be so hard for me.
Yeah.
Where I can just like pick up and go.
That's the problem. That's why I had chosen like English speaking countries except Japan actually.
But Japan would be, to me, Japan would be an adventure, not somewhere to live. Yeah. Like, I'm like, let's go to Japan for 3 months and like
not even 3 months, 1 month, and like explore and come back.
Well, that's the thing for me, because like, you know, like, in my ideal world, the book that I'm writing takes place in Japan, and so in my ideal world, I go to Japan. I live in this little town. I think the town's called is Nan or An or something, and I just literally like get used to the lifestyle there, and then write about it. Oh my god, you guys can hear my cat. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Don't worry about that. Like, we love animals. Sorry for that.
Yes. No, I mean that's a good segue to our next topic. But I guess we have 2 more minutes left.
Yeah, we can switch.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we are in a better space in our relationship. Although we are like having these difficulties at the last couple of weeks. When I like calm down and think, like I think we are in a better spot in our relationship comparing it to before.
Yeah. I still get the familiar, like, oh, I just need some alone time. And I guess you still get the kind of like...
Yeah. But I think it's gonna happen. Like, I think we are in the correct direction.
Yeah, you don't understand the kind of comfort you bring me. Or maybe you do understand. But how do I say this? Like, that's how I don't know how to get this across to you, where because I'm a loner, because I'm an introvert, because I'm so antisocial, you have become like very, very important to me. Because you, like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm anxious about something or something, I can tell you, and you really do make me feel better. You do to me what, you know what I mean, what you're supposed to, which is just make me feel less alone. You know, and so yeah, and I love that about you. That's why I don't. That's why when you say like, oh, when you're by yourself, but you're broadcasting or you're on VR chat or you're talking to other people, and like that's not really being alone. It is because they're just a distraction to my anxiety, and you are a cure. You are a fix to my anxiety, and so it's a completely different. It's a completely different relationship.
Yeah. I heard that before, but every time I hear it, it's kind of like reassuring.
Aw, words of affirmation.
Yeah. So,
You know who needed a word of affirmation?
Who?
Rocket.
Right.
Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm trying to get a smooth transition.
I loved the movie. I was I was not expecting, like I was going to the movie theater like, okay, we decided to talk about this, but I'm sure it's gonna suck. Like I'm not a huge fan of Guardians of Galaxy in general. I'm not a huge fan of Chris Pratt in general. I'm a fan of Marvel Cinematic Universe, but not in a way
You like Marvel.
whatever they do is like amazing. Like I know those movies sucks. I'm just like watching those movies for the sake of seeing my favorite characters. In
The only Marvel movies I like are the Spider-Man movies and the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I feel like they're on their own. They're on their own. Like I feel like all the other ones, even though Spider-Man more than Guardians of the Galaxy, they're kind of like separate. All the other movies were like, oh, we're talking about this movie is about the stones. This movie is about, and like just the first Guardians of the Galaxy was about the stones.
Yeah, that's the first time almost. Like we literally. Yeah. Anyway, first of all, I want to say this. I love how Marvel, like, although it's late, although it's like 2023, and you guys are a little bit late to touch those topics, but the last two movies, Wakanda Forever and like there's an Ant-Man movie between them, but we don't talk about it. Yeah, we don't talk about it. I don't like Ant-Man. And like Wakanda Forever, racial and cultural topics. And in like Guardians of Galaxy, like there's another like controversial topic, like experimenting on animals. Like ethical topic. Like they are like touching those topics, but they are kind of late, like a decade or a couple decades late touching those topics.
What do you mean? Like you talking about the writer kind of started talking about just sort of some sort of social political topic.
Yeah, I feel like they started to talk about those in the late movies, but they are kind of late. Like come on, Wakanda Forever is all about like cultural differences, racial differences, like
it's a very much a black
Hispanic black, like people of color.
Black. Oh yeah, this time around it was for the Mexicans as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so but see, like Guardians of the Galaxy to me kind of felt like it has to be diverse because there's aliens. Like aliens is just like there's a you know what I mean, like inclusion up the ass, but. I don't know. I mean, I like that you're coming from it as like, oh, finally a Guardians movie that is social political. But I don't know. I personally think that wasn't their goal. I think their goal was to like.
Their goal is not that, but I kind of like thinking that way. Like they're touching.
I think that like if you love animals. This movie's gonna fucking pull at your heartstrings. I cried 3 times.
Me too. I cried 4. I guess. Like at one point I cried like really cried like.
Yes, when his friends all die, when he's like looking around and his friends are dead and he's like angry, because that was the birth of his anger, right? Yeah. Like he was born so sweet and docile. He was like, you are the only one that has. The nice curiosity factor, right? And like he figured out how to get all the animals to also be sweet. They
programmed to be pacifist, like they programmed to be not violent at all.
Yes, and so he was like that, and then like he saw the reality of like your friends dying and shit, and it broke him, and he became violent.
For me, the moment I really cried, not just tears in my eyes, was the moment like he saw Layla in the gates of heaven. Like I was like like stop it.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
The movie starts with just a bunch of little raccoons. Oh, so cute. I remember just thinking like, no, don't do this to me. And then, I mean, I guess we're gonna be jumping around, but at the end when he goes and sees the same little cage with all the little raccoons in there, and then like he picks them all up and they get on him like raccoons, like little baby raccoons get on their mom raccoons.
That's the moment. So that's the moment he finally realized that he's an actual raccoon. Actually, like he wasn't. He didn't know the word. Like he just saw the, like the plague.
Yeah, he just like, people are calling me raccoon, but I'm
raccoon.
Not.
Oh, okay, I'm the rocket. I'm Rocket the raccoon.
I'm Rocket Raccoon. Yeah, that was really cool.
I like.
You know what I don't like? Okay, so I started playing the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which I kind of recommend. In a way, it's pretty. If you like the banter of Guardians of the Galaxy movie, play the game because it's like the characters are similar, different actors, but the characters are similar. Their banter is very fun, like the movie. But in the movie, the Russian dog that has telekinetic powers, the dog has like a man voice.
She?
It's
in the movie. It's she.
Are you sure it's a she?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, I don't like that. I don't like that it was a little girl voice. And at the same time, was it BMO? Was it BMO's voice?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Anyways. No, I know it's Russian, but it sounded like it had the same... It sounded like BMO. Anyways. In the game, it's a Russian dog and it's a Russian man. And to me, that makes more sense. To me, that makes more sense that it's a Russian man.
Why?
I just don't like that it's a cute voice for an adult dog. Like, it's literally an adult dog.
I mean...
And it's like...
You're not...
What the fuck?
Like, what you're saying is like, it would be okay if it's a woman, not a kid.
Yeah, that would be better. Yeah, I would be okay with it.
It's not about gender. Like, what am I asking instead? Like, it's just the age.
No, it's not about... the age. Like, it was an adult dog, and it sounded like a little kid, like a little girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, let it be like a badass, like, woman, or like in the game, it was a man. It was like a Russian man, and I tell you, it was funny. It was cute.
Yeah, like Snow Leopard in his Dark Materials.
Yeah, see, that would have been cool. Oh my god,
badass woman
that was like
voice.
Silky British woman.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? That at the very end, the credit scene, there's a little girl. Oh well, the post credits, right? Not post credits. Before there's a little girl with them.
Yeah,
she's in the game as well. She like is a part of the game. She's like this really strong psychic.
Yeah. I guess so. I'm happy that I saw, like, we had to see is Cosmo. Actually, I love Cosmo, the telekinetic dog.
Yeah.
I love her, and I'm not quite happy with, like, how bulky is Groot in the new movie.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, what the fuck? Like, a tree can work out and grow muscles.
I guess, but I do like the timeline of Groot. Like, we got to... The first movie was Groot old, and we saw him die. Like, I like that they kind of... The order of the movies, we got to see him at different stages of his life, and it wasn't like the normal... Like, the first one wasn't with the baby Groot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was... I like that.
Yeah, but why did he change? Like, why isn't it the same Groot that we saw?
Because he's not old anymore. Because he's not old yet. We're literally seeing him in his middle lives right now.
But
when he gets older, he's gonna be skinny and look like the first
really?
movie, Groot. Yeah.
I'm doubtful. I'm doubtful about.
We saw old Groot.
I'm doubtful about it.
We saw old Groot in the first one. We saw baby Groot in the second one, and now we're seeing teenage, middle age.
We saw
in the third.
We saw the teenager Groot in not Guardians of Galaxy, but the Infinity War and Endgame, I guess. Like the puberty time, but like before the end credits scene, the Groot there, like not even bulky, it was like a Hulk. When the girl was shown, like they were like just sitting next to Groot, and like they told, "Let's go, Groot, wake up!" And what the fuck? It's an elemental, not a tree anymore.
Yeah, but to me that makes sense. Like, I don't know about the character. I don't know about the character history or like these characters, but like I imagine that they live a long ass time. So we're seeing just a stage in his life that is probably not.
I don't know
youth,
either.
Teenage, adult, old. You know, it's probably longer than that. Like,
But I'm just comparing it to a tree right now. Like I don't know how is Groot's story in the comics and stuff, but trees don't change that much. Like Groot is a tree, and like I was just expecting the same.
Are we going back to ship a thesis? You know, about identity crisis here?
No. Okay, so what else? What else I liked about the movie? Like at the end scene, I liked the choice of the song. Dog Days Are Over.
That's cute.
I love Florence and the Machine, and that was a good.
She's alright. She's cool. I like that Gamora is not really part of the group anymore. Like that's also an interesting thing. That's also an interesting thing that the story took.
Yeah.
That the story went. Its story went. There was like, oh, Gamora died, and now our main character is dealing with loss, and it's like,
I mean,
that to me is interesting.
Gamora was too much for like Star-Lord anyway.
Yeah, she was too cool.
Yeah, too cool for Star-Lord, so I'm happy about that. And I like that Star-Lord is not the part of Guardians of the Galaxy anymore.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's Rocket.
Yeah.
Rocket is the captain now.
If there's another movie, I hope
so cute.
They won't bring Chris Pratt back.
Oh, you didn't see the post credits?
No.
Oh, well, he's gonna be back. They say that. They literally say Star-Lord will be back.
Maybe a solo movie just about Star-Lord.
Yeah.
But
oh, you know what made me kind of cry? When Nebula was like, "You're not Drax the Destroyer. You're not Drax the Destroyer of Worlds. You're Drax the Dad." You
didn't born to be a destroyer.
You were born to be a destroyer. Yeah.
You had born to be a dad.
That killed me.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Like I started kind of like crying there because I was like, oh my god, like that's so true. Like I had forgotten that he had a daughter and like he became this really bitter madman. And then like it was perfect. I don't know, like the way they closed these stories were also really cool. Also Mantis is being like, I have to go figure out my own thing, and she has these like huge 3 monsters just like,
and she's calling them babies. Babies, so cool. Let's go.
Yeah. And she's I love that she was like, they eat batteries, they don't eat humans. I was like, I love that. Like it's just like, you know, like, oh yeah, these guys were engineered to eat the batteries of spaceships. I guess
you don't remember? Like in the second movie, like they
Harbulary batteries.
Yeah.
Harbulary. Yeah.
It's the movie starts with a fight scene with one of those guys, and it was a tough fight. Just one of them.
Yeah, they're badasses.
Yeah.
Anyways, also I really like Nebula's arc. Like I like that Nebula was also very cold-hearted, and she became really close to Rocket.
I love Nebula.
She became really close to Rocket. I like that a lot.
I love Nebula more than Gamora, actually.
They're both really cool in their own ways. I think it's really cool that Nebula got Bucky's arm.
Yeah.
Like it's just part of her now. That's really interesting. Like I want to know what's up with that. Like, are we ever gonna get to see Rocket steal it from Bucky? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly enjoyed this movie a lot more than the first two. Maybe I think it might have to do with the animals. I think it had to do because
I think the way the movie runs is better than the first two as well. I can say that it's the best one of those three. Like there's no doubt for me. Like it's kind of one of the best Marvel movies in my head right now.
Oh my god, I don't know. I'm not a Marvel fan that much to say. I liked Shang-Chi. I liked the second, or I guess the first. I like the Spider-Mans. I like Shang-Chi. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And that's it.
Like my first one is still the first Doctor Strange movie because of the visuals and like everything. The second one I don't like it. uh, and Thor Ragnarok, because it was so much fun. And
Yeah, that one was fun too.
and now the Guardians of Galaxy Volume 3, like on par with Shang-Chi, I guess. I love Shang-Chi. Like Shang-Chi was like aesthetically beautiful.
Shang-Chi was just, it was cool. It was a big, to me, the at the very end, it became super like magical, fucking dragons fighting each other and shit. Like that to me was like, whoa, I was not expecting that big of a fucking
It starts like a Jackie Chan martial art movie.
Yes, it starts like that, and then by the end, he's like riding a dragon, and you're like, what the fuck is this? So I thought that was cool. Yeah, I think the whole I'm just gonna say it, but you know that it's been a rocky road for me in this department. But this movie has kind of switched on the whole vegan thing. Like I've been eating vegan since like yesterday.
Oh.
So yeah, but I'm not gonna talk more about it because I don't.
Since like yesterday, it's not even like 24 hours
since
yet.
Like yesterday. Since like yesterday.
How many meals did you have? Like two.
Two. I had two vegan meals.
Oh, you're cute.
But yeah, no, like I initially when I was a vegan a couple of years ago, and it was for like a year, 2 years I was a vegan. It was because of that. It was because animals. Because I just feel like, I don't know. There's a guilt when it comes to eating an animal. Even like now, when I was eating, which was like yesterday, animals, like there's a guilt. There's a literal guilt that I have in my head where I'm just like, oh my god, this used to be alive and this is weird. And then when you start tasting like I don't eat as much red meat because I can taste like, I don't know, I can taste the fucking blood. You know what I mean? Like I can taste I don't know, it's gross. And I started getting that with chicken, where I had some stores you taste the poultry, like you taste the chicken. It's kind of weird. It's kind of gross. Anyways, but yeah, this movie, man, it was. And like also the whole understory, what is it called? The undertone of like you're an abomination, and like you don't belong in this world. Like that was cutting really deep.
Yeah, definitely.
But then when I saw how Rocket left his face, like it was a mask, I was like, shit. Like Rocket, I don't know. Like he really did break. I loved it. I love that Rocket.
Yeah, Rocket losing it. As a kid,
because he was a genius. Like Rocket was a genius, and he still is. And it takes me back to Endgame when Rocket meets Iron Man, and Iron Man is like saying all these things, and Rocket is like, "Hey, you're just the smartest man in the world." Like it's just like, as in like, dude, I'm the smartest guy in the galaxy.
Yeah.
Relax, you know. I love that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I also love the whole, like he made a key in his little
like the spare parts. He was like looting, hoarding.
Yeah.
Like from the first scene, like when I saw those like raccoon babies, I realized that okay, this movie is about Rocket, and I'm gonna love it. Because I haven't seen the trailer. I haven't seen anything about the movie. I didn't know anything about it. And
in the trailer, they make it seem like somebody's gonna die. In the trailer, they make it seem like somebody's gonna die.
They made it seem like someone was like a lot of people were dying in the movie as well. Like they played with our emotions like 3 times at least.
Also, Mantis kept like breaking her neck. Did you notice that? Like every time she was like falling, she was always falling on her neck.
Especially in the pit, like when they like dropped them into the pit of like those 3 monsters. Like Mantis fell and like. She can't heal. Like, how is she alive?
Yeah. I thought it was really cool when she like tells the guard like, "Oh, you're very attracted to Drax," and then the guy's just like kind of flirting.
And Drax is like, does that every time?
Yeah.
I love those moments. Like,
yes. Mantis and Drax's interactions are key for me to be like to like Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Like those 2 characters are really funny. Oh, and when she was like, even though he's dumb or he's stupid, like I don't know, like they also kind of brought Drax also full circle, where it's like he's a dumb guy, but he's like full of heart. You know what I mean? And he's like,
Yeah.
I really like that. Yeah.
New members like Adam.
Who's Adam? The guy with the whistling?
No, not the whistling. The guy, Superman kind of guy, like.
Oh, fucking Warlock.
Yeah, I hated him. I hated everything about the character, like the casting, like being a kid. Like I understand it's an experiment and stuff like that, but come on.
What, you know what? He kind of had the same thing happen to him that Kumail Nanjiani did in what are they called? Eternals.
Okay.
Because they casted him for this big role. He got super fit and sexy and whatever for the movie, but then like they didn't really show it that much.
Yeah.
And so like Will Poulter, the guy who played the wizard, he like it was in Hollywood. It was around. He was like, oh shit, he got hot for this movie. He got hot, like he got sexy, like he built a lot of muscle and he got all muscular for this movie. Like everybody was like, oh shit, let's see what he. And then like he's not even like that big of a part. And then in the scene that they show him shirtless, it's literally like rags. Like there's no presentation to his body.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, oh okay, he just knew like, oh I'm gonna be in a Marvel's movie and I'm gonna be like a hero kind of guy. I have to get hot. You know what I mean? Like you can tell that was the reason.
What bothered me about him most, like they are pointing out that he's like a kid, like just learning, but at the same time, the signs that he's giving off are the signs of an age. Like the kid starts questioning everything, and that guy is following everything, every order without asking any questions about it. Like, why am I doing this? What is it? Like, what are you gonna do with this? He's not asking any questions, but all the other things like dumbness, like not dumbness, but having no idea. Like that is like a kid's.
And in
brain.
the game, he wasn't like that. In the game, the actor who played him in the game, I don't remember if he was just born yesterday in the game, because in the movie he was just born yesterday. So there was supposedly a naivety to this character. In the game, I don't remember if he was just born yesterday, but it was totally played like, he was played like that paladin guy.
Okay, Dungeons and Dragons.
Dragons and Dragons. He played it very like, I am an honorable man and I'm gonna use my powers for good.
It would make more sense. Like it would be like a dutiful character who's like doing everything who's told,
but still naive. Yeah.
Right now, it's like a kid who should have questioned everything, but not questioning anything, but just dump. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. And that's the thing where I think they just. Well, I don't know. I thought he was gonna be the main villain. You know what I mean? Like, I thought he was going to be like, oh, I don't know. It was weird. His character took a weird backseat to the story.
Yeah, I realized that he's going to join to the Guardians of Galaxy from the first scene that he's shown.
Yeah, I guess because he wasn't a bad guy, that makes sense. To me, I was like, what is this guy... Like, if he's not going to be the main antagonist of the movie, what is he doing here? And then I was like, oh, okay, he saves fucking Chris Pratt from freezing in space.
Yeah, and, like... the face of Chris Pratt while freezing, and like the day after of those events, like his face is completely back to normal.
It's Marvel, what do you expect?
And like the guy who created like new societies cannot fix his face, just use a mask.
Oh, but he was all scratched up. Like he got literally, his face got ripped apart.
I mean, he got a mask completely new, like skin-like, and looks exactly like his old face, but he couldn't repair his face. Like he was just wearing a mask. It's those things are like not. What the fuck? What's going on? Like
what? That?
Yeah.
You got a fucking whole spaceship, fucking people living in the head of a god.
That's amazing.
And you're questioning.
Like that's amazing, but that's the point. Those guy is like almost omnipotent, right? Like he can do everything. He is like evolving species.
Yeah.
But cannot fix his face.
I get it.
And Chris Pratt, thanks to him being the main role, like, the main actor in the movie get his face like fixed the day after it was like swollen.
Yeah, because they have those machines. That machine that fixes you up real quick.
I guess the guy, like the high evolutionary or something like that, didn't have that machine. Makes sense.
Nope. So yeah, that little puppy dog that was with the wizard, that was kind of cute.
Yeah.
The little alien pup. He was cute.
Nice.
Oh, when at the end when they were like, "Oh, just get higher life forms off the ship." Like I was already like, "What do you mean higher life forms?
Yeah.
Just get all life forms out." Like I was already thinking like, "Okay." And then they got all the kids out, and then Rocket has the whole scene, and he's like, "We have to get them out." He's like, "The kids are already out." He's like, "No, we have to get everyone out, like the animals too." And then, which I thought was really cool, and then we saw all the animals running out, but then we saw this one monkey just jump on a woman and start attacking her.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Holy shit!" Like I was just thinking, like, "Oh my god!"
Of course, like they were in the cage, they were like treated badly. Of course, it's gonna attack whoever the first person is. It's like
Oh my god. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, that's not a good image for the wild animals they're freeing right now."
Yeah. And
But yeah, it was cute. Oh my god, the little bunny with like spider legs was so
that was
creepy but super cute.
it creeped me out at like first
It was
couple
creepy.
scenes, like literally, like the walrus as well, like with
The walrus.
wheels on his like hind legs. Even the Lila, like otter,
Yeah, the arms were like machine
it was so
arms.
creepy. Like, oh my god! But they were
Aw.
so cute, especially Lila.
Yeah, that was his first like family.
I literally cried like in like a lot of scenes I could feel my tears in my eyes, but in the scene that like white background, like near death experience,
Yeah.
Lila
That made you cry the most.
Lila's telling Rocket, not yet, like you were,
Yeah.
it was always about you, it was always your story, it was like me for
Oh yeah. This was your story.
it's Rocket's story. Guardians of Galaxy's main character is Rocket, not Star-Lord. Like, it was amazing.
Yes. Well, yeah, because also the second movie also was very like, there was the undertone of, oh, Rocket is hard to get along with. Like Rocket's hard to get along with. Rocket's a
Yeah.
loner, and like he kind of feels that people are not gonna care for him and love him. That was cool.
And Rocket has a scene with every single huge ass character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He has a scene with
Oh,
Thor.
really?
He has a scene with like Iron Man. Like, he's not a side character. They actually were showing that to us. Like, he has a
Mhm.
scene with like Bucky. He has a scene with like whoever you think. He has a scene with them. Like, really remarkable scene.
No, that's interesting. Does he have a scene with Spider-Man?
They didn't take a role in the same planet yet, I guess, because during the Civil War, Guardians of Galaxy weren't in the Earth, and when during the Infinity War, they were in different worlds as well. At the end game, like, Spider-Man was dead till the end of the movie. So yeah.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Overall, this is my favorite one. I wish we could have like known more about how Rocket met Groot. I would want to know like, oh, how did they meet, and what's their backstory? Because when we first are introduced to the Guardians of the Galaxy in the first movie, they're already together, they're already a team. And so I'm kind of like, when did they meet? What's that story? Like, because I thought their friendship was really beautiful.
There's a miniseries in Disney called I'm Groot. It's an animation series. Maybe they explain it. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's true.
I can check. Because
but
I would like to know as well.
yeah, there's something really cool about like, oh, a raccoon on a tree. Like, of course, you know what I mean? Like, raccoons are going to be on trees. And like they're fighting. Like, to me, there was something really cool about like that idea of like, oh, cool. What's his name? The guy who wrote Guardians of the Galaxy?
I don't know.
Isn't it that old man that was in
Stanley?
every movie? Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
I don't know. Maybe. Well, anyways, I was just thinking like, oh, that's a cool. That's like me being like, oh, it's a butterfly character, on this like walking flower. You know what I mean? Like, it makes these two things, making them into a superhero combo is really interesting to me.
Yeah. And one last question: why did he start talking? Like,
oh yeah,
it was
guys.
unnecessary as fuck. Like, why? Like, I wouldn't like
Groot.
I would just like him saying I'm Groot.
I was Vin Diesel. Like, when he said "I love you guys," I was like, "Oh, what the fuck is Vin Diesel doing in here?"
My family. What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, I would like.
He shouldn't have. Yeah.
I would like him to say just "I'm Groot." Like, it would be an amazing closing.
But that is his, like, I guess the smallest arc is his, right? Where he's like, he went from "I am Groot" to "We are Groot," and then to "I love you guys."
I like the fact that Gamora was like, you guys are just making this up, right? Like, he's not thinking, right?
But that's funny because, like,
at the end, she was able to.
We're not part of Guardians of the Galaxy, so we can't understand it. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool.
But she understood it at the end. So
at the end, she was like, just started talking back, and then she realized. Zoe Saldana is such a good actress.
She was.
They're all really good.
She was in Death Proof as well, right?
Death Proof?
What?
No, that's not her.
That's not her.
You're confusing
the mom.
Zoe Saldana for what's her name? Fuck.
Language.
No, no, it's not the same one.
Okay.
She's not the same. No, it's not the same girl. But Zoe Saldana is like sci-fi geeky kid's like wet dream. She's like in every sci-fi movie. She's always playing a hot alien. So yeah, she's a badass.
That was a good movie. That was like a lot more than my expectations. Actually, I liked it.
Yes, if you guys made it this far, we recommend you guys go watching it. If you guys love animals, go check it out.
We kind of ruined it for you, but the movie's worth seeing.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really give out much of the plot, did we?
No, but at least they know that no one's dying.
You shouldn't have said that.
You said that before.
Oh, okay.
We always give spoilers in the podcast, so we just didn't give a disclaimer this time.
We didn't.
Yeah, we forgot.
Okay, what should we call it? Should we close it?
Yeah, I guess. Are you gonna try again?
Thank you so much for listening. And distantly is not always so fittingly. How's that one?
No.
Is fittingly is. You can fit this up your ass. I'm just kidding.
You're just being weird now. Let's go.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much. See you next week.
See you guys next week. Bye.